Hi, this is Tim of the Watchbox at Dubai Watch Week 2021, and we are here with the Ferdinand Berthoud FB1.4 grade 5 titanium, 44 millimeters in diameter, a 20-piece limited edition, and there is a lot to say. You can see that the watch is more or less an octagonal form, almost as long lug to lug as it is wide. So it's 44 millimeters in diameter, it's 13.2 millimeters thick, it's about 49 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and you can see that the watch has an elaborate hand-polished case. The nice thing about grade 5 tie is that it's harder than steel, but it's also lighter than steel. Now the watch uses a fusee-and-chain, and it has viewports in the flank of the case, so you can actually see the chain as it moves from fusee to barrel and back, and you can see how the fusee is actually stacked up. It has a stacked set of diameters. It's a hyperboloid in shape. It's basically like a curved cone, and as the mainspring barrel winds down, the fusee gives it mechanical advantage to maintain constant force to the escapement. So you have a fusee-and-chain, and when you wind the watch, and you can see this one is fully wound right here, the fusee will wind such that the chain moves from the barrel to the fusee, and then as the watch discharges, the chain moves from the fusee to the barrel, with the barrel pulling a larger and larger diameter of the fusee as it winds down, effectively creating the kind of mechanical advantage you get with a bicycle. So getting a little bit closer, you can see a couple of the key elements here. There is a planetary gear set that allows the watch to be wound without disrupting the force to the escapement. There's also a stopworks that will halt the movement after the 53 hours of power reserve is exhausted. So now there's a lot going on here, so let's just start from the tourbillon and move counterclockwise. The tourbillon, as you can see, is enormous with a wonderful three-dimensional quality. It's free sprung, it beats away at 3 Hertz or 21,600 vibrations per hour, and then we move from the tourbillon, which as you can see sits on a half bridge that's been fired blue. You can see that there's a conical reader system, so there's a cone and then there's a jeweled reader on the side that powers the power reserve indicator. And so you have this high-low power reserve indicator on the dial side that is powered by this very traditional cone and reader power reserve system. Now you can see right here we have the mainspring barrel of the watch, and the mainspring barrel features the stopworks on top and individual numberings. This is number 5 of 20. There is a Maltese cross style stopworks, which you can see has been entirely hand finished, and that will halt the watch when it reaches the point at which it can no longer keep chronometer grade time. And I should mention, this watch is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Other refinements that I missed just a moment ago, there is an overcoil hairspring, and you can see that overcoil is enormous with a huge arc as the hairspring, like the tourbillon structure itself, is simply larger than life. A feature that I also neglected to mention is that you can see the bridges are actually made of sapphire. If you look, you can see they hover over the base plate. So we have sapphire bridges from top to bottom. And then finally, of course, we have the fusee side. And you can see that the fusee starts off completely covered with the chain when the watch is fully wound. There is a decoupler. As you can see, I can't accidentally overwind this watch, which is wonderful on a $250,000 manual wind watch. But now as the barrel discharges, the chain will move from the fusee over to the barrel. And again, there's that planetary gear set that allows the system to be wound without changing the force to the escapement, as that would undermine the idea of constant force if there were a fluctuation as you wind. Now you can see individual numbering on the side. You can also see a window that allows you to see the tracks of the fusee and its different diameters. And again, once more, we'll go over to the side where you can see the chain visible, and the chain, of course, I should say rather, these are the tracks of the barrel, and there are corresponding tracks on the fusee, which you can see is more obviously tiered from top to bottom. So you can see the tiering of the hyperboloid shape of the fusee. And of course, the dial has a wonderful enameled quality to it, which is beautiful to look at, but it's also a little bit more open, so you can see the center and the tourbillon in action. And of course, the watch has a relatively compact hour and minute dial with center seconds, and it's very uncommon to see a center seconds display on a tourbillon watch. So this is the Ferdinand Berthoud FB1.4 20-piece limited edition at Dubai Watch Week 2021.